Get y'all switched over here. Alright, let me get y'all mounted up here in the front. Alright, good morning. Welcome in. Time for the morning special, that's it. It's the early bird gets the worm. Or the roach clip, dab spoon, however you want to look at it. It is definitely early. It's chilly out here this morning too. Got the heater going, got the jacket on. 53 here in the shop. It's not too bad. 30 something outside though. Oh, I got a bunch of stuff to do. But let's get with it. This is another piece of that crepe myrtle. And I didn't think I had a bunch of this left, but ooh, I got lucky. I went outside and I had like daggum walking sticks worth of it. I got some bigger pieces. Let's see. A little sneak peek. This is a bigger piece of it, but this piece is about 3.5, 4 foot long. Nice and solid. I got a bunch of little pieces off of that. And then I got another little piece. A little bit better. Or not better, but skinnier. That's about 2 foot long. And I got another little piece. And this stuff is dense and solid wood. So yeah, I'm going to be able to make a bunch of spoons out of that. The bigger piece, I'm going to try to cut that down and maybe do some snowmans on it later. But this morning's going to be roach clips. Alright, y'all. I'm going to turn on the noise makers, put my dust mask on, and get with it. Got me a big old cup of coffee made this morning. I ran out yesterday on my first cup, so I dug out one of my bigger cups and doubled it up today. Maybe we won't run out. Got everything readily available. Making sure I have all my stuff situated here. I got me a bunch of papers cut up last night and labeled. I got some fresh sandpaper for the epoxy, fresh sandpaper for the wood stuff. Trying to dangle down in front of the camera. There we go. Hey, good morning, Deland. Good morning, Tim. I'm fixing to turn it on. This, like I said, a little piece of crepe myrtle. I'm gonna bust this one down, round it up. I want to see what kind of colors I get because there's this was like a little crotch area of the tree, and so it kind of goes off in different ways. And then I got a couple little knots right here, and so I'm curious as to what kind of character that's gonna give the wood. But yeah. That go open. Make this stuff for medical and expect folks with goofed up hands and crap to get it to open. It don't work that way on some of this stuff. The 13th is fastly approaching. I have to go get a moving blanket. I'm going to use that to lay across my table, heavier than a daggum tablecloth or something, so maybe if it's windy it won't blow it away. I gotta get 2 of those. Would like to try to find a better tripod, but I'm going to have to wait and do that next month. Alright, here we go, y'all. Put the old dust mask on and get at it. Alright, let's make some noise, y'all. Let's see how this turns out. It's gonna take me a minute to get through those knots. Good morning, Miss Jean. Thank you for coming in. Hey, little peekaboo. It's getting there. I'm gonna work it all around. That's gonna look good, I think.
Got to get my ribbon on this little piece. I don't want to beat up my round piece, but I think I'm going to have to.
soft drop the mask for just a second and see what everybody's up to. Hey, Miss June, if I'm not running the roads, I will definitely tune into that. Oh, goodness. I had to try to find my rhythm in this piece. It's so lumpy and just crazy shape. I'm going to keep going down and lose some of the thickness to get the bark and everything out of that little spot. But it's going to look good. I like the little knots and stuff in there. That's going to make it some extra color and character as I get going with it, I guess. Oh, goodness. I gotta move some of this stuff out of the way real quick. I put my little wood pile right there at my feet. I can't get at the angle I needed to get to move my chair. There we go. I gotta prop up a little bit. Get a little bit of weight off that back. And I need to go through later today and check my shop bag out. Yesterday morning during the live, it sounded like it was trying to lose power a few times. I don't know if maybe we were having power surges on the lines just in the area, or if it was my vacuum trying to take a hiccup on me. But I've had that thing since, what is it, 22, 21? But it's done me pretty good so far. But darn, that's gonna be a sad day if that thing gives out on me. Alright, and a little bit more of the medication going on too, y'all, so yeah, that's just part of grumpy. But here we go. Y'all hit that like, double tap that screen, give me some love. I appreciate it, and thank you for all the support.
Oh, you're alright, man. Get mad at it. Everybody. Chocolate stuff, that is. Alright, we're getting there.
Yes, happy Veterans Day to everybody. And if we have any veterans out there, God bless and thank you for all your hard work. And Perry, I know Perry's a veteran, so he ain't out here yet this morning, I don't think. He's probably getting ready for work. Alright, let me get back at it.
Alright, that's gonna be the bottom. We'll work our way up. A little bit more. We work it in there and keep those nuts and stuff in there. I gotta get the rest of that out of there, but we will taper it up right here and then try to do like a ball on the end and taper it to the point.
Alright, I don't know if y'all could understand that. I'm gonna bring it in like a mushroom stem right here, but then I'm gonna make it try to make it a round ball towards the top. And then I'm going to taper it back to a point, kind of like my roach clips, but then drill down in that point for the spoon and make this a little dab spoon. Good morning, new bananas. Thank you for coming. And New Beginnings, you're Chase, right? I think I got that right. If so, good morning and welcome. I believe I got that name right. I'm bad with names, but... Alright, let me get back at it.
Well, let's go. gonna hit it with a little bit of 150 sandpaper. See how it goes from there. Trying to get the tool mark out the top right there, and it's just not working. Jump into a piece of 320. Hey, good morning, mother dog. So 400. Oh, 600. A little bit of 1,000. Little 1,200. Nice, this is gonna look good, Joe.
This off. Whew. Turn that way down. Ooh, we hear it. It's about time to mess with them brushes in here again, I think. Have a good morning, Miss June, or a good day. Thank you for coming by. And I'll be I got my notifications turned on for everything, so I'll be looking out for that live. Just pulling that extra paste off of there real quick. Nice. Got some character going on there. Didn't think about the cracks in it on those knots before I put that paste in there. I have to keep remembering that. Oh, still looks good. There's a little split right there, little splits in the knots. A little split in the grain right in there. This piece has got a lot of texture and color. That's what I wanted to. I knew the knots were going to give me some problems, but I knew it was going to give it a lot of cool color. I like that. And again, where my center's going in right there, I'll cut it off right here at that little bottom, and I'll sand it flush, get that nice and smooth. I'll drill down in my center right there on my drill press, and I'll put my spoon in there. And that'll be another dab spoon. It'll stand up like that. Like I said, I'll cut that off. But that don't look bad. That come out real nice. I like that, y'all. Alright, do we want me to try to do a piece of epoxy or do another piece like that? I got a piece that's a little bit skinnier. And it should make a nice roach clip. Has some knottage going on at the base of it, and then come up here for the clip. Yeah, that's. I mean, it was let me see, a crotch piece is what we call it. When you got when you got branches come up like that, you call that the crotch, right? Okay, that's what I did. Is I cut up all the pieces off of it and got that widest point, and it just had a lot of little knots and branches right there. And so yeah, it turned out with some cool character in there. Cause yeah, you got a little knot there. Yeah, it's an awesome piece. I love it. Let's see. Yeah, let me see. I'll just go on with it, making some more wooden roach clips. Save my epoxy ones for a little bit. I got to get a setup going with my molds to. Let me see. Need to get more streamlined, I guess, on making them. I'm working out a new system. There's a few things I got to get acquired for it. Let's see. Oh, that's a little bigger right there. That won't be too bad. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to cough in the microphone. Yes, sir. Coyote Rose Creations. Yes, I do roach clips, dab spoons. I've got set up to start doing some ink pens, but I got to get the kits and some spacers and all. But here's a roach clip that I have done. This is out of cedar. And then these are again some little mushroom shaped dab spoon. And let's see. Here's what I'm talking about when I refer to a dab spoon. Something for the concentrates and everything on. You dip it in there, put it in your little banger or whatnot. But yep. But I got all kinds of roach clips that I do. Dab spoons, all that good stuff. Good morning, Miss Daisy. But yeah, that's some of the stuff that I did the other day. And I believe this is crepe myrtle, and I work with anything that I can get my hands on that I can turn. Um, when they say dry wood's the best wood for my usage anyway. I know a lot of people will turn green wood and then let it sit and then turn it and let it sit, but I don't like messing with the wet wood because I do Dremel carving and stuff too, and it'll gum up my burrs. So yeah, the drier the better. I think and get back at it. It's taking me a small break. I'm gonna get me a little sip of coffee. But I hope everybody's morning is good, not too chilly. I know some of the northern states done got some snow and stuff yesterday. We don't get that stuff here, but it is a little chilly out there this morning. I think it was 33, 34 degrees out there. It's like 50 something in the shop. Yeah, 55 right now. I got my little heater going. But all in all, gonna be a good day. And after I get caught up on my roach clips and stuff, I am gonna get in there and do some snowmen. And I might try to do my little Christmas light again. I've only did one of those and was pretty proud of the first one, so I I haven't wanted to do a second one because I'm afraid I'll mess it up and it won't look as good. But that's silly. I gotta get with it. There we go. There's the light bulb I was talking about. I did that out of a piece of pecan. It's got some wormholes in it where bugs was getting on it. But yeah, I spun that last year. That was the first time I ever done something like that. I was pretty impressed. Alright, y'all. Let's hit some of that coffee again. Blow out the dust mask and get set up and get with it. Hit that like, subscribe, double tap that screen, all that good stuff. Drop videos every Wednesday. Matter of fact, I got to get done with this and start editing tomorrow's video. That's one thing since I've been doing the lives, I've fallen behind on my video shooting and editing. Alright, here we go. Okay. There's a couple of people that's commented about that. Okay. Very new to lathes. Well, I've been at it for a couple of years, a little bit now. But I get neuropathy in my hands. I get heavy-handed and I push too hard. I do use a chuck from time to time. This is the first time right here that I've ever done with a waist block, so that's going to be interesting. But with me getting heavy-handed and a small lathe, I've burnt my motor up once before because I'll get a catch or whatever and it just draws down on the motor. Well, driving with my live center with no spikes like this, if I get too heavy-handed and I get a catch, my piece is going to stop. Motor's going to spin good and it's not going to be violent on my tools and whatnot. Now, granted, it takes me longer to turn a piece like that as I have to go a little bit easier, but at the same time, that's trying to give me what's kind of like a physical therapy for me. I have to get used to this. I can't feel my hands half the time, so I have to get used to that because when you're doing a lathe, that's what it's all about, is feeling that wood and vibrating and just letting it talk to you and stuff while you work it. So, but yeah, that's why I go with my centers like this. I do use the chuck, and I do have the, let me see, the center that bites right there. But I'll get in there so close to the ends and play with my tools. I've hit them little teeth a few times, and one of these chipped off and got in my eye a little bit. And but yeah, I try to stay. That was before I was wearing my glasses too. I keep glasses on for every time now. Good morning, Bones. But yeah, I do use them, but on these smaller pieces like this, I get down in the ends and just get, I'll buck my knuckles on it and stuff. So yeah, that's just the way I'm comfortable with doing it, I guess. But all right, here we go. Hope everybody's having an awesome morning. Hey, there you go. What you teaching? Homeschooling or just teaching your kids some crafting or either way, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, if you're putting somebody young, I mean, that's another thing too. That's an awesome that yeah. If you're going at it like this and you're new and you're learning, this would be, I guess, the safer way to go because when you're spinning and that thing's going so fast and you get that violent catch, it wants to snatch the tool down like that. You know, you get your hand in there, it wants to snatch your finger down like that. But with that right there, that piece is gonna stop. You know, that's gonna still spin. You get your stuff caught up down here, you're in trouble. But right through here, your piece will stop at it. That is safer. So yeah, teaching somebody young, old, it don't matter. Just new altogether. That would be an awesome way to go about doing it. You know, and then once you get used to that, adjust to the chuck. But then once you start, the bad thing about it, you get used to turning like this, you're used to getting close to that end. Well, once you got that big old, I call it that big old knuckle buster right there, you're not getting close to that end. I got one of my videos, I was sanding and was hooked to the chuck and I caught my thumb, it was right here, and bit my thumbnail and broke my thumbnail back. But yeah, they're awesome tools to use, very fun, very relaxing, but at the same time, if you don't respect it, it's just like any power tool, it's very dangerous. But so woodworking in general. Oh heck yeah, there you go. Hold on. I got you. Boom. I can play. This is a piece of pecan. I left the bark on it right there, a little bit right there. But yeah, I did that last year. Yeah, had a marble on the top, but it keeps coming off. All right, let me get back at it. Uh, nice to meet you. Welcome to the channel. Please stick around. Check out some of my videos. Got some awesome people. Anybody in here with a link, everybody's cool, everybody's respectable, and yeah, good little community. All right, here we go. Woo. Hey, good morning, Steve. Where'd it go? I did that earlier, Steve. I'm gonna turn that one into a dab spoon like my other stuff. Drill through the top and epoxy the spoon down in there. have thought about taking. I have a bigger piece of this outside that's fairly large, and I'm thinking about trying to take it and turn it into a mallet and see how that works. Because this is some pretty hard wood. I didn't realize that. I believe it's crepe myrtle, and I didn't realize it gets so daggum tough. It grows so fast. I wouldn't expect it to be as tough as it is when it dries, but this stuff's pretty good. Oop, wrong button.
On that at the bottom. And then there's my pup. It's gonna have some cool color in it. right there. It's got some flat spots. It'll get you. Hey, good morning, Matthew. That's too good. Hey, good morning, Flower. Hey, no. I gotta sharpen this thing again. bit skinnier and then I'll sand it down. I just got to be careful down here. Don't want to catch it. I've been thinking about it. Alright, you got some 150. There we go, 150. And this stuff, it's not that rough. But
this stuff's not that rough, but just I'll take all the tool marks back out of it and see how it goes from there. I'm gonna take, when I cut it off right here, it's kind of eggy right there because I'll be hand sanding that, but I wanted to get this a little bit bigger, but I turned it too small. Like I said, I'm still playing with my circles and stuff, and I know it's all geometry, and I suck at math. So, you know, I kind of eyeball and just get with it. But, alright, let me sand it down some.
This is going to be the fun part, hand sanding that round. Woo, that's cold. Let's do some 320. This is 320. Woo! Chilly.
We was in the 30s up here, Bones. It was about 34, I believe it was, when I first woke up outside. Alright, 400. You gotta watch loose sleeves around this stuff too. This'll stop though. If you got it in a chuck, it's gonna wrap up on you. This end will wrap up on you. This end down here, you're okay the way I got it set. But still, keep your sleeves and your hair out the way.
And 600. Yeah. Brrr, gotta be careful. And 1,000. $1,200. Alright, get our dust off of this thing. Ooh, get rid of that gun. There's mask off. Take them dust masks. They help them lungs, but ooh, I hate wearing them. I do wear it though. Alright, got my lathe turned down as low as it'll go. Throw a little bit of polish on here. Get them colors to pop out, get that grain to looking pretty. Yeah, I thought about the chess pieces. I've had a couple people say something to me about it. I got to go through and I haven't played chess in many years. The last time I did play it, I used daggone video games to tell me where I could move and couldn't move. I got lazy with it. I played it when I was a kid,
wasn't that bad. Then it come out on the video games, and then you didn't really have to think to play it, you know. So then, yeah, that kind of got me lazy and ruined me to it, I reckon. But I do want to make some pieces. I'd like to do a an epoxy chessboard. Get my squares cut out of wood for one side, and then have epoxy fill for the other squares, and then trim it all out. I'd like to build something like that, and then turn around and make all the pieces for it. That would be cool, but I can't cut a daggum thing square. So yeah, building one, that probably will never happen. But the chess pieces, yeah, I could probably do that. I got to get a list of like how many pawns and all that kind of stuff there are, and everything, and then go from there. Make me an initial shape that I like. You know, once I get that shape made, I might be able to replicate it, but it's not gonna all be identical. You know, I guess that's the cool thing about it. You know, I don't have a jig or anything to make them perfect. Alright, everybody, double tap that screen, hit that like button, show Grumpy's Crazy Butt some love. I do appreciate it. It's gonna have some nice color in it, y'all. I'm just taking the polish off, the extra back off now. Y'all hear me hit that? When you hit that stuff on the downside and your fingers is pointing down, they'll just bounce off of it. But when you turn upwards and hit, woo, that's a different story. You don't want to do that. Y'all hear me, woo, and do that a bunch when I'm turning. That's what I end up doing, is coming through here and catch my knuckle on that end or something like that. That's why I don't like using that chuck, because I call it the knuckle buster, because I hit my knuckles on it constantly. Like I said, on the underside, it's not bad. You hit it coming down from the top, that's going to wake you up. I have found my new favorite wood to turn on a lathe. I do like turning this crepe myrtle. I sharpen my little, it ain't a skew, but I guess that's what I use it as. I get this sharp again. That'll give me a lot cleaner edge. And then that's the thing, the sharper your tool, the cleaner your edge is when you finish. And then sometimes you don't even need to sand it. Certain woods that just come out nice. And then that sharp tool just leaves that clean cut. But y'all look, I'm pinching the mess out of this with the cloth, so there's no wax or nothing left on there. Everything's into the wood. That's almost got to shine like epoxy. Nice. Oh yes, look at that knot. Almost looks like a little planet sitting there with some clouds going around it. And that's wood, y'all. I love that. Alright, I'm going to cut it off right there on the lathe whenever I get to finishing this piece. And then I'll go through with the sandpaper and I'll swirl it around, kind of cup it in my hand and curve the paper. And yeah, I'll get it rounded at the end like I do with all my epoxy pieces and whatnot. And then I'll polish that end up. I'll cut it right there, tie the stick on, and yeah, that's awesome. I can jump in the box and tie the stick real quick if y'all want to watch that. If not, then I'm just going to babble for a few. And I don't think I'm going to start turning another piece this late. It won't be long and I'll have to start feeding my dogs. Yeah, I like that. That come out nice. Oh. that. Let's see, yeah, I got this one that's ready to tie. I got to cut the bottom off and polish it, then tie this one, and then I got the. This is the first one we did. I got to cut the bottom off, polish that up, then drill this one. I'm gonna drill down in through my center hole, and put my dab spoon in there, and then make that a little stand-up dab spoon. And all that. I know the woods are awesome. I think it's crepe myrtle, is what I believe it is. This one had a lot of knots and stuff in there. This was a crotch, and I cut it off and spun it and got all that color and stuff in it from there. But you can see some of the cracks that were in it from the knotted areas. Some of the paste has gotten up in there. But that's awesome. Let's see. This is the bark and everything of it. Like I said, I believe it's crepe myrtle. And then when I cut it, yeah, it burns with my bandsaw because my teeth on my bandsaw are so fine. But yeah, this is another little piece. Whoop, get back in camera. This is a little crotch area right here. It's cut off low. I'll take and cut this piece about right here. It's about 3 inches tall, and I'll spin that down and make that into a spoon. And then the rest of it's pretty thick. I'm going to try to start doing some little Christmas trees and snowmen out of that. Let's see how they turn out. Woodchucker, you getting on out there to work, buddy? Be safe. Have a good day out there. Thank you for tuning in. I got to clean up my mess again. And then that, where did it go? Put it up. No, here it is. This was yesterday's epoxy that I did. I got the spoon's not epoxied in there, but I got the epoxy the spoon down in there. I polished off the bottom. There we go. And that shing shing. That's what I like about epoxy. But almost looks like a trailer hitch ball. But this, what I'm holding here, this is another blank. I made up, when I did that one, I made up these two and that, and so these are the same color as that dab spoon right there. I have to get a picture of it. I can probably do it. I'd probably do that and have it stand up and then even come down and put a clip on the end of it or put a daggone spoon in the end of it. All right, Tim, have a good morning. Thank you for coming through. But yeah, these will take me a minute, and I haven't started turning on these yet because I'm not sure. Normally, I let my blanks sit for a few weeks to cure good so they don't bend, and these haven't been sitting that long. They're thick, but if they're soft, as I start to put any shape to it, it'll start to bend on me. So I'm trying to let them sit. I got these two. You hear the sound difference in them. They should be good to turn without bending. I poured these, shoot, it was a few weeks ago, but I think I'm gonna save those to do for my actual weekly videos. Maybe one. I might spend one on a live and then one on a video. But I'm gonna take, and if I can do it right, I'm gonna shorten them down a little bit and see how that goes, and make a shorter stick and then a matching spoon to go with it. But my newer blanks that I pour, I'm going to try to compensate for that and make my blank a little bit longer. And then that'll give me more material. I'll be able to take and cut it, and then I'll have a small piece for the spoon, and then I have a piece for the actual clip. That way I can start making matching spoons and clips. Or at least matching colors. I mean, they're not going to match identical. I mean, the colors swirl, you know. But that's my plan. And then with the event coming up, I've just been hard and heavy trying to make sure I have enough clips, because I thought that was all I was going to be able to carry out there. But I talked to the coordinator, and she told me that I could have all my wares out there. So all those plaques that I showed y'all before me doing the painting and the burning on, I'm gonna be able to have all those laid out, all my little wood spirits laid out, plus my roach clips and spoons. So I'm gonna have the table kind of set up. I'll have a few clips here and there with some wood spirits around everything, and have everything tagged, and hopefully I'll have me a good day. And then I'm gonna go do that on the 13th, and then go on the 22nd for the grand opening. And then they say that every 13th of the month I'm welcome to go and do the same thing again. So this might be a cool thing. Heck yeah, yeah. That means it's gonna be a good day. Yes, sir. Yep, yep. And let's see, my buddy at Homegrown Aquatics, Hedrick's Homegrown Aquatics, he pushed me real hard to start this YouTube stuff. I had babbled about it. He said, "Man, you need to make videos. You need to make videos." And I was like, "I ain't gonna do it. Ain't nobody gonna watch my stuff." And y'all, I am so appreciative that I got so many people watching me do my thing. It's amazing. And then I've been nervous as all get out of to do these lives, and I still get on here and get nervous. But again, I use this YouTube and my carving all as therapy. I'm batshit crazy. I got some wild anxiety at times. Uh, I jump down all them conspiracy rabbit holes. You know, that's just Grumpy's crazy butt. You know, but I'm using this YouTube and this, especially these lives, to try to come out of that anxiety. You know, I don't like people, but I do like people. I've just been burned so many daggum times. It's hard for me to trust people, you know. But this community is just so awesome, and like I said, it's helping me work through a lot of issues. So I greatly appreciate everybody that puts up with my babble and all that mess. But yeah, that's Grumpy. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna take them out the milk. Woo. Get y'all a little seasick. Let's see. Hi, good morning. Grumpy's a little woolly boogered. I started that new shave November, real early, and let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna grow it all back out. Yeah, I had a beard way down here at one time. I had Christmas ornaments and stuff hanging in it at Christmas time. But yeah, we're going back to the grumpy look, and then that daggum dust mask. Yeah, you can't keep nothing looking good. And then I'm two-faced, y'all. If you look right here, my beard grows straight. You look on this side, it's all wavy and stuff. I always say that's when my mama used to smack me, or she smacked my hair straight because she used to kick me on that side. All right, woo, get out of here. Y'all seem crazy grumpy enough. Yeah, Santa, there you go. I'm going with Grumpy, man. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. I'm going to let it's going to be a cross between Grizzly Adams and ZZ Top. Yeah, that's how I had it before. You know, I had it long. The wife didn't like it too much, but I don't care anymore. It's my hair. I'm gonna have it how I want to have it. I ain't got no hair on my head, so I got to take advantage of what hair I got. All right, y'all. Y'all have an awesome day, and thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody has, just like I said, a safe day. If y'all out there partying for Veterans Day, showing y'all's respect, be respectful for it. Stay safe. Don't get hurt. I want y'all to be able to tune in tomorrow. All right, y'all. God bless. Everybody stay safe. Stay laid back. Stay awesome.